Hello and welcome to this episode of Making Connections, the BattleCON analysis show where I, your host, Marco de Santos, try my best not to do so badly at BattleCON Online. In the previous episode, somebody suggested that I play some Eligor, and since I haven't been playing a lot of Eligor, might as well, so let's get to the game. Alright, welcome to Eligor versus Alexian. K-Fresh's Alexian. K-Fresh, welcome to the show. Interesting matchup. Basically, Alexian's gonna hit really hard, and I'm gonna get a lot of Vengeance tokens, and then it's gonna be weird because Alexian's Chivalry makes me faster, but I don't want to be faster. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how that works out. We're definitely gonna get rid of this. You do not want to grasp an Alexian because you have way more powerful things to do than grasp on beat 1. Chained. So I definitely don't want burst. Chained is actually okay because it lets me pull in Alexian. Martial's not that good on beat 1, especially since I only start with, let's check the UA. I only start with 2, so I think Martial burst is okay. Alright, and we shall take Sweet Revenge. Let's see how this matchup works out. I am not sure how it will go. So my opponent did not strike. This could be problematic. Oh, there's no Regal. Okay, so the lack of Regal is pretty good in my opinion, which means I can do Vengeance. Yeah, there's a few scary things in my opponent's kit. Specifically something like a burst or a stalwart burst. So in my opinion, I should do Vengeance Drive. This is actually a really good Eligor opener. Because it counters a lot of bursts, which people tend to do against Eligor because he's really bad at range if you don't hit him. And it's slower than his shots. So being slower than Eligor is usually good if you have a character that has a lot of stun guard. That's definitely something like Alexian. Alexian has a lot of stun guard. So Vengeful Drive should be my move. There's only a few things that would probably beat it. Actually, there's not a lot that can beat it. I think the only thing that can actually beat it is Mighty Divider. But even then, Mighty Divider would be a 3-4 trade. I think that's fine. Gestalt Divider would miss. Yeah, I think Vengeful Drive is actually really powerful on beat 1 with this setup. So I can do a series of things. I could definitely go for a Chivalry right now and up trade against my opponent. I think this is the correct move, mostly because my opponent doesn't have Regal right now. So I'm guaranteed to... This is guaranteed to work unless my opponent dodges, right? Oh, sorry, my mistake. Divider has Soak too, so a Mighty Divider would still be a very bad trade. Okay, as Eligor, you can't really fall behind, so we're trying to just deal as much damage as possible. This is probably something like a Divider. Stalwart Divider. Eesh. Yikes. Okay, so definitely do not make a mistake of advancing 2 because we want to end up on the opposite side of the opponent. So we will advance 1 with Vengeful. We will advance 1. So this will be a 4-6 trade. That's actually not bad in my opinion. Yikes. So my opponent can now push me. Oh, they didn't push me. So that's actually a smart move because now my opponent... how do I put this? Now my opponent has the option to dodge, right? But which dodge would Alexian do? So Alexian's pretty fast right now with Mighty and Regal. A Regal Drive or a Regal Strike would be decently scary. A burst would be scary as well, but his bursts aren't slow. So it's a choice between the dodge or the not dodge. So I'm gonna Retribution Aegis right now. And only anti 2, because I only think I need 2. So the most damage my opponent can do is currently 6. I already have Stun Guard 2, so I need to anti 1. That gives me an extra 3. So I need to anti 2 in order to have more than Stun Guard 6. So this gives me an effective Stun Guard 6 extra. So this is probably a dodge. That's fine. Or not. Ooh. So will my opponent advance up to 1? I think they will.
With honor.
My opponent is impressed. Okay, so I soak 4 of that. I forgot Gestalt has Ignore Soak. That's quite dangerous. That's actually really bad. Oh man. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I forgot that Gestalt had Soak. That's such a good move, that's such a good move. If I had only antied one more Vengeance. If I had only antied one more Vengeance. It's okay though. We still have the capability of coming back, but it's gonna be very hard for Eligor to do so. This might be a fast match. So... this might be a Regal Grasp. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing Counter Grasp. Oh man, this was such a good move. I should have antied more. This is what this is what happens when you don't play against a character or as a character a lot. I usually don't have to worry about my soak getting ignored, which is a very interesting concept to me. So we'll see if this Gambit works out. I will pass as well. So I'm expecting a dodge or a Regal Grasp. Yep. The hard reads. Okay. Now my opponent has Divider again. I don't want to trade against that, because that would be absolutely horrible. Chained doesn't pull... I can pull with Chained so that he moves past me and goes into the opposite side of the board, right? Yeah, I can actually do that, but it doesn't matter right now. It's just a cool trick that I am thinking about. I should probably do this. So why am I doing Chain Dodge, right? So rather than doing Switch Dodge, which is the predictable move here, I'm going to use Chain Dodge so that my priority is 2 instead of 3. And then I'm going to do, if my opponent gets positioning that's not ideal to me, I'm going to use Chains before activating to drag my opponent to where I want them to be. So let's see if my opponent's going to try to... Yep, okay. You both dodge. So my opponent goes first. I wonder where my opponent will go. Okay. So I definitely only retreat 1. Let's not spend any. This is going to be a very interesting beat. So what can my opponent do? A variety of things. This is what I'm scared of the most, but it's fine. What deals the most amount of damage? Martial Burst. What's my opponent's fastest move? So Steeled is also relatively scary. Any one of these moves could easily kill me. Anyway, I'm gonna Martial Burst anti-3 tokens. And if my opponent ends up doing like Mighty Drive, then so be it. So this move actually has a lot of potential, right? I get to deal 4 damage, plus 2 from Martial, and then plus 3 from the unique ability of anti-ing the 3 tokens. So let's just hope my opponent isn't going fast. I'm expecting a Stalwart Divider, quite frankly. I'm gonna anti-3. Oh, by the way, quick fact, did you know that you can anti more than 1 at a time? But it's actually optimal to anti less. So I'm gonna anti some power here. That just stalled, man. That just stalled was so good. Excellent play, K-Fresh. Okay, so that's some power. Did you know you can anti-3? Oh, man. Alright, all at the same time. So I'm banking on my opponent not doing Mighty Drive. Yeah, okay, so this is probably like a Stalwart Divider, which I think loses me the game, which is unfortunate. Rough beans. Because if I retreat one... Oh. Now I wish I had done Aegis. Regardless. At least I'm able to do a decent amount of damage. And close the game off. This is what happens when 2 Juggernauts get to fight, right? I got a really good beat with this Martial Burst. There's a few things I could have done against the Stalwart Divider. Mostly I could have done Martial Aegis, which would have worked decently well as well. It was actually a 50-50 essentially. Was it a 50-50? No, I should have probably just... no, because then he could have just ulted. Right, that was the reason. Great game, K-Fresh! Great game! So, let's move on to the post-game analysis in a bit. Alright, so, that was a fun game. We got to see some huge numbers get thrown around, and I'm really excited whenever I get to play Eligor. I'm not the best Eligor player, let's be very clear about that. I got some good reads, however my opponent got some good reads as well. I firmly believe that I misplayed by totally forgetting the fact that Just Alt ignored Soak. If I had just antied one more Vengeance token during that beat, I would have actually won that game. I would have gotten a significant advantage, and I would have been able to trade super positively on that beat. In the end, I ended up 5-0, but it could have easily just been like 6-0 or something like that. Only a few beats. All it takes is a few beats to win or lose a game of BattleCON, and you know, that's what really makes it exciting. So what lost me that game was simply forgetting that Just Alt ignored Soak. This is the importance of understanding everything your opponent can do. I mean, I understood that Just Alt was able to deal 2 damage, was slow, and was able to advance 1. I completely forgot that it ignored Soak, mostly because a lot of my characters don't pack Soak. So I was banking on that Soak and totally forgot to take that into my calculation. That was absolutely my mistake, but that's absolutely fine. That was a fun game nonetheless, and it's a learning experience even for somebody like me who's played all of these characters a lot of times before. Sometimes you tend to forget, and that's totally fine. That's something you have to learn, right? Like, one bad game isn't an indication of you being a bad player. It's just sometimes you have an off day, and sometimes you forget, and that's totally fine. And so long as you enjoyed the game itself, honestly, hitting that Martial Burst was a win in my personal book, because that dealt a lot of damage. That was like half somebody's life bar in one hit. Really, really fun. Really, really fun. And I hope you all enjoyed it. So, without much else to say, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and or subscribe to the channel. And if you want me to play a specific fighter, please put in the comment section down below. Oh, by the way, can I just say that that countered grasp was pretty hyped too. I was really proud of that. Let's just be very clear. Okay, without much else to say, don't forget your special action, and thank you, World of Indians. Thank you, and good night.